Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for being with us today. My name is Denisa Fines, and I will be your host for today's session. Before we get started, I'd like to make some quick introductions, starting with a little bit about me. I've been in the solar industry for the last 3 years, and I'm really happy to be part of this event because Pakistan is a very dear country to me. I've been there a few times. I am part of Jubaili Bros Solar, which is the renewable energy arm of Jubaili Bros Group, and I am currently based in Dubai. The organizers, FACT Exhibitions, is the leading exhibitions and conference organizing company in Pakistan. They specialize in industrial and corporate trade shows. Currently, they have a portfolio of over 25 industrial sectors. And FACT is also UFI approved, which is the Global Association of the Exhibition Industry, just so you know they're legit. FACT Exhibitions is the organizer of Solar Pakistan, which is the main event this webinar is part of, and this is the country's only dedicated solar energy exhibition and conference. FACT have taken the initiative to organize an informative webinar series covering the solar energy situation in Pakistan and worldwide. And this is a way to identify and help bridge the industry needs with solutions. It's very obvious that industry professionals are eager to learn about the top trends in the solar energy industry all over the world, and particularly in Pakistan. We've seen a tremendous growth in that market over the last couple of years. And I'm sure a lot of you attending put a lot of effort into connecting with experts in your respective field and identifying new business opportunities. Global leaders and future strategists intend to engage with solar professionals and facilitate access to new technologies in an effort to keep them a step ahead. And I guess that is the purpose of us all being here. And with that being said, my dear guests, Solar Pakistan webinar number 6 is sponsored by Huawei Fusion Solar, which is the leading solar inverter manufacturer. Please note that you can view the recorded webinar on FACT Exhibitions YouTube channel, which is fakt.tv. Just search for it on YouTube. And before we begin, I'd like to say that both Huawei Fusion Solar and particularly Jubaili Bros are infamous for targeting power cut markets. Jubaili Bros has started with Lebanon, Nigeria, Afghanistan, and the most recent years, Pakistan. We really understand and know the pain of these power cuts. I myself have lived in Afghanistan on military bases for a few years and was relying solely on alternative sources of power. I have also lived in the capital in Kabul, which had massive power cuts. I've also traveled to Pakistan and I've seen firsthand the situation there. Our guests today from Pakistan still have regular power cuts, and that brings us to the reason why we're here. So the topic of today is say no to power cuts with solar inverters. And our valued speakers for today are Mr. Rizwan Razak, who's the Chief Technology Officer for Huawei Fusion Solar, and he's covering the Middle East and Africa region. Mr. Mohammad Rafiq, who's the Technical Manager of Jubaili Bros Pakistan, and Mr. Zaigam Rizvi, who's the Chairman, Prime Minister, Housing Task Force for the Government of Pakistan. And I'd like to welcome all of them. And at the very end, we'll have a Q&A session, so please stick around. You're more than welcome to ask all your questions and we'd be happy to answer. Now, I would like to request Mr. Rizwan to take it over from here.
Great, thank you, Denisa. So I'm just about to share my slides. So hello everyone, my name is Rizwan. I'm the CTO for Middle East and Africa region. And today I'll be discussing the 10 trends in the smart PV world that we envisioned by 2025. So without any further delay, we see that there will be an estimated of 10 major trends that will be going ahead in the near future within the next 5 years. And that comes from data sources of forecasting based market insights, looking at the organizations and their international organizations, forecasting by consulting companies, and forecasting by industrial vendors as well. So all of these aspects we've analyzed, and we are seeing that there's going to be certain changes. That number one, first of all, we'll see that by 2025, 90% of the global PV plants will be fully digitalized. So all of the components, such as the energy storage, transformers, solar inverters, trackers, they will all be interconnected to provide a more digitalized platform, with the market shifting towards the 5G. And this will all allow for the response times to be available from any device that you're wherever you are globally. Trend number two is an aspect of AI, artificial intelligence. By 2025, 70% of the PV plants will be adopted with AI. So the fault diagnostic, rather than just specifically showing an alarm, it will detect what kind of alarm that is, indicating very clearly to the owner operator to handle that fault more rapidly. We see around 1 gigawatt PV plant generates around 1,000 gigabytes of data on average. So that data will need to also be stored and monitored continuously. Third is a trend whereby 80% of the work on the PV plants will become unmanned. So the manual labor, which currently in these kind of markets can tend to be quite cost effective, but having a more robotic manner of monitoring the plants using devices will be a more streamlined and more efficient way for the long term. Other factors which are not as, let's say, fundamental, where in other regions where there is becoming quite a rapid increase of renewables. However, with weak grids in regions such as what we're here in Pakistan, the inverter can be supporting the grid rather than just being an additional part of generation, and predominantly causing a conflict in harmonics and other components on the electricity grid itself. Trend number 5, in regards to the PV systems, the energy storage projects will be exceeding around 30%. So where you are having PV penetration to provide a more fluent and stable power source to the grid operators, the price of the battery technology is also decreasing, which is then providing a solution where we can provide batteries as well as the PV at a very cost-effective price. Trend number 6 is the virtual power plant. So this is what we're seeing in the next 5 to 10 years, and this is what is being discussed in Europe. And what we're seeing is about 80% of the residential PV plants will have a VPP network. So the connection of all of the PV systems will be housed by a central functionality port. Trend number 7, in regards to safety, this becomes also a factor as more of these generation plants are becoming operational. So DC is a dangerous source, and with the inverter incorporating AFCI integration into the inverter, which is an arc fault circuit interrupter, can stop within less than 2 seconds the continuous risk of fire on the PV plant. Trend 8, this is something which predominantly is quite rapidly coming from the research and development of the major brands of products, is the power to weight density. So specifically, if we look at 2017 to what we see by 2025, the 1500 volt inverter or larger, for example, will have a larger capacity with a lower size and weight. Modular design. So as we have been doing since day one, the PV plants will be fully modular format. So rather than having larger block sizes, larger capacities, larger effects to the availability of the project, more modular configuration can be more adopted with the storage as well. And trend number 10 is the security and trustworthiness. So ensuring that there is information coming through, but ensuring it is coming in a safe and reliable source where these large PV plants can become quite an obstacle for the power operating companies as well. So these are the top 10 trends that Huawei is seeing, and we are envisioning by the year of 2025. So thank you all for listening. We are hoping to bring a digital to every person, home and organization for a fully connected and intelligent world. Thank you, and over back to you, Denisa.
Thank you so much, Rizwan. Huawei is very known for its developments, for being a telecom provider, and it's very interesting to see how they've integrated this with the inverters. Although solar is a very small percentage of your overall business, but my colleague Rafiq will present to you about Huawei inverters. Will give you a very detailed presentation of why you should choose Huawei inverters. We'll explain to you about the key features, what sets them apart from other brands, and the how this AI is integrated with the inverters, how to have higher yields, and like Rizwan said, use less manpower. So Rafiq, back to you.
Thanks, Tanisha. Let me share my screen first. Hi everyone, good afternoon. My name is Mohammad Rafiq and I am taking care of the technical department, and I am a part of Jubilee Bros Pakistan team, and right now I am based in Lahore. So there will be two parts of my presentation. I will start with the introduction of our company, then I will move to my second part, that is my main part, that why Huawei inverters. So basically Jubilee Bros is one of the leading power solution provider in the Middle East and Africa. So we are currently operating in more than 10 countries. We have started our journey 43 years back from Lebanon in 1977. Then we have extended our roots to 10 different countries. As you can see that UAE, Nigeria, Afghanistan, Ghana, Uganda, South Africa, Qatar, Kuwait, and Pakistan is one of them. And we have established our separate department for solar division back in 2017. And our core business is of Perkin engines. We supply the Perkin engines all over the globe. And other than Perkin engines, other than Perkin itself, we are the largest O&M provider across the globe. So these are the 6 key pillars that how we are supporting our customers. So starting from the left one, the product supply, we have different warehouses in our cities. Let's take an example of Pakistan. So we ensure that that the inventory of the product is kept. So we have our warehouses in different cities like Pakistan, like Islamabad, Karachi, and Lahore is one of them, so that we can supply the product on as per the request from the client. So there is no delays on the deliveries as well. If there is any case of replacement, so we make sure that so that the end customer is not losing its generation yields. So we deliver the product in a replacement within 24 to 48 hours. And training is other key pillar that we conduct a lot of webinars and one company to company sessions as well, so that we make sure that we share the correct knowledge with the end customers related to designing, commissioning, installation, and maintenance of your PV power plants. And also we provide the engineering support. So our team is capable to provide you the support in the designing of your system, so that you can further optimize your solution to have a competitive bid. And because of our strong relationship in our market, we do receive queries directly from the end users. In that case, we pass on to our partners, to different EPCs as well. And as I said, that we have a team of engineers over here in Pakistan, so that we can provide on-site commissioning support, remotely support. So our team is well qualified and trained on Huawei products as well. So Jewelry Bros is a one-stop shop for your solar solution. If you're looking for a solar solution, our main product is Huawei solar inverters, as you can see over here on the left-hand side. So that covers all the PV scenarios, ranges from 3 kilowatt up to 200 kilowatt, covering residential, commercial, and utility scale projects. We also supply the mounting structure. We are a partners of Lumex mounting structure, that is a South African brand. We do supply the tier 1 solar modules if you have any query related to that. But we are right now only keeping the stock of Huawei solar inverters only. If you are interested in mounting structure or solar panel or BOS of the system, then we can supply from query to query base. So we are the value-added partners of Huawei. In short, you can say that the Jubilee Bros is an extended arm that is working very closely to its EPC customers, so that we can support our end customer very closely, and we can work on the same project in a combination along with Huawei. So we can handle the inquiries up to 100 megawatt. So Pakistan is one of them. We have, as I said in my first slide, that we are covering 10 different countries. So Pakistan is one of them. Along with VAP, we are the CSP. What is CSP? CSP is basically the certified service provider. So Huawei ensures that the team, the partners team, is fully qualified and trained, so that they are providing the service as per the standards of Huawei. So there is a certain number of employees that has to clear the exam, followed by a series of interviews to ensure that all the services that are provided by its partner are up to the mark of Huawei itself. So once you are at the stage of analyzing a product for your solar power project, so there is one question that comes into your mind, that why I should go with this inverter or an XYZ inverter. So I will tell you what are the key points that makes Huawei superior to other inverters that are available in the market. So these are the 3 points: that overall performance, ease of installation, after sales support. That these are the 3 key points that makes us superior among all of the other brands that are available in the market right now. So we will discuss one by one in my upcoming slides. So as you have noticed that Huawei is delivering the lowest LCOE in many of the largest power plants across the globe. So this is the basic formula that you can calculate your LCOE, levelized cost of electricity, that comprises of your total cost over the lifespan of the time, or divided by your total generation over the lifespan of your project. So these are the 3 key points, as I said, that after sales, ease of installation, overall performance. And I want to highlight one of the example for you, that we recently did a project of Sakaka, that is of 300 megawatt in Saudi Arabia, where the lowest bid recorded was 2.3 US cents per kWh. So what are the key factors behind the lowest LCOE? One is efficient O&M. The other one is lower OPEX cost with Huawei solar inverters, and the third one is the high yields that you are going to get if you are using the Huawei Fusion solar string inverters. So all these 3 can lead you to the lower LCOE cost of your solar power project. So now this is the comparison of efficiency, that Huawei is offering a higher efficiency as compared to the other products available in the market. As you can see from the left-hand side, if you are comparing the 20 kilowatt inverters, that falls in the lower commercial range. As you can see, there is a difference of around 0.6% that will lead you to the higher yields as compared to the other products available in the market. If you are going to compare the 100 kilowatt that is on the right-hand side, so you are going to get a higher values, that as in formula you have seen that if the value of the energy is higher, then definitely you are going to get the lowest LCOE. That impacts the LCOE cost as well. So we have noticed that you have to check that some of the manufacturers do mention XYZ percent on the data sheets. So we have found that some of the manufacturers, for example, they have mentioned the X value on their data sheets, but after verifying from the third party, we have found that there is a difference of around 0.6% to 0.7%. So you have to check that as well while you are selecting a product for your solar power plant. You can we can share the TUV certificates with you as well for the Huawei string inverters. So as I said, that Huawei is mostly used in many of the largest power plants across the globe. Here is one of the examples that the most recent system that is commissioned in 2020 October. The size of this project is around 2.2 gigawatts, where we have supplied 1.6 gigawatts of string inverters. That is in China. This is equipped with the efficient technology like IV curve diagnosis and Modbus communication, in which you don't have to you don't have to use the Ethernet cables, or you can save your amount on the trenches of the Ethernet communication as well. And this system is also integrated with trackers as well. So we don't just name the inverter as an inverter. Basically, you can call this inverter as a controller, because it is integrated with the whole of your power plant. So lowest minimum voltage and startup voltage, as you can see over here on the left hand side, that as you have seen that the Huawei inverters are offering the wider MPPT voltage range. So what is the advantage for the wider MPPT voltage range? Let's suppose if you are using Huawei inverters, your power plant system will wake up early in the morning, while other inverters are in sleep mode, and also your plant will be producing later in the evening. So you will have an extra amount of your yields. That accounts a lot. So low downtime. So Huawei inverters has a low failure rate, as low as 0.5%. As you can see over here in the left bottom corner of my screen, that we have certificates from the third party, that is TUV. So as you can see there, the low failure rate is inversely proportional to the availability of the plant and also to the generation of your plant. If you are having a lower failure rate, that means you are going to have a higher availability of your plant, and in the result, you are going to get higher yields as well. So that protects your investment, and that is supported, designed for all weather conditions. As you can see that we have removed all the vulnerable parts from our inverters. You have noticed that initially we were supplying the inverters with LCD displays, so we have removed that after our R&D department, R&D team. So there is no vulnerable parts like LCDs that has a shorter span of time, and we are using the natural cooling. There is no fan-based cooling in up to 60 kTL inverters. So we are using the same terminology that we are using in our telecommunication sector in our remote radio units. So what accounts to the what gives the lower failure rate? So we have in Huawei we have a strict testing procedures. So every single inverter or particular load has to go through a different type of test. Over here, as it mentioned, that one of the tests is high acceleration life test that ensures that the product can be used in rigid weather conditions on the field as well. So as I said that you are going to get higher yields with Huawei inverters, having more MPPTs. If your plant is having a lot more MPPTs as compared to the central inverters, you have already noticed that now string inverters are becoming the mainstream in your solar industry instead of using a central inverter, because there are several losses that are there are several disadvantages of using central inverter. As you can see, if you are having a more MPPTs, means if there is a single string that is under shadow, so only that particular MPPT will be affected. In case of central inverter, the whole of the inverter will be impacted if there is some sort of slight shadow on your string. The mismatch loss are reduced with more MPPTs. The causes can be swelling, shedding, tolerance mismatch, and thermal mismatch as well. And Huawei has their own patent algorithm for MPPT tracking. So that ensures, let's suppose if there is a slight cloud cover on your power plant, so that feature will ensure that your system is operating at its maximum possible limits. Ease of installation. So we are offering a compact design that is having higher power to weight ratios. As you can see, or in the left bottom corner, if you are comparing the residential series with other products available in the market, so our inverter has a less weight of around 17 kg as compared to the maximum is 37 kg on the right. And for small commercial units, our inverters weights only for 25 kg. So only one person can handle the installation on site. So you will not needing 2 or 3% to mount your inverter as well. And also, as Rizwan mentioned, that our technology is fuse-free design, so there is no need to have a additional DC production like fuses or breaker boxes in between the solar string and your inverter. What you have to do is that you have directly connect the string to the inverter itself. And also for small ranges, we are offering a AC connection, 3 screwless. So there is no screw connection. You just have to peel off your AC cable and plug in to the AC connector as well. So that's reduces your time of installation as well. So the other advantage of using Huawei inverters is that it's user friendly. As you can see with other inverters, you have to bring a laptop on your side and you have to connect via laptop to the different inverters. So we are offering a 4-step commissioning procedure. In first step, you have to set the basic parameters. All the devices will be detected automatically, then connected to the management system, and the final step is completed. So we are offering this application can be used on your mobile app and also on your PCs or laptops via web-based. So you can control your system remotely as well. You can set all the parameters. For example, if there is one client and he's not paying your remaining money, so you can limit the output power of the your inverter remotely as well. So that definitely he is going to give back your pending amount as well. After sales supports for a strong warranty, we are offering a strong warranty as a standard. We are offering 5 years warranty, but we are flexible in that we can extend up to 20 years in maximum. So if you're using a Huawei solar inverter and it's been around 4.5 years, then you can also extend at that particular time. But you have to make sure that if you are willing to extend the warranty, so you have to make sure that it should be done before the 6 months before the expiry of your warranty. And we are also offering the same many features, safety features as this Rizwan mentioned in the trend number 7, the arc fault current interrupter circuit that shuts your inverter within 2 seconds. So that will be the basic need every inverter should have in future. So we have noticed that other brands are also offering this feature, but you will notice that by default this feature is disabled. But we are so confident about our research R&D team and our AFCI feature that it is enabled by default. So there is no need to enable after the commissioning. And we are also offering the anti-PID solutions in most of the inverters ranges till 40 kilowatt and also the 100 kTL inverters. We have a built-in PID recovery that ensures that your plant is your solar panels are producing maximum power as the life of the plant goes on. And also we are providing the surge protection in the same cost of the inverters. Some of the manufacturers are also quoting that feature as an optional feature. You have already noticed that. So as I said that Huawei is offering a lowest OPEX cost. So one of the main tool is IV curve diagnosis. So if you are going to use this with your plant, so it can detect automatically 14 kind of faults. So comparing with the traditional way of diagnosis, you have to depute someone expert on the side and he will do the sampling testing for 1% to 10%, and it will take, for a megawatt scale, it can take a couple of weeks as well. And that includes a lot of cost. And after testing, he will have to write a report manually. There is a chances of also human errors as well. But if you're using a IV curve diagnosis by Huawei, so you just have to click on your report on your laptop remotely. Just for one click, you can generate a report within the 10 minutes for a scale of 100 megawatt project. As you can see, the most common fault is diode breakout fault, that is about 54.8% as well. So we have a case study, and this is also applied across the globe, more than 5 gigawatts of installation. And this is also verified by the third party TUV. So on request, we can share the case studies and the report with you as well. So this is the project reference list for Pakistan. As you can see that we have a project of 12 megawatt in Islamabad that was commissioned in 2017. Likewise, using 185 KTL in Quetta. So there is in total As of now, we have supplied more than 44 kilowatts are commissioned. 44 megawatt of the projects are commissioned right now. So we have a case study on these particular projects, that how much they are producing right now. So we can also we are open to share with you as well. Thank you all. Over to you, Denisa. I am done with my presentation.
Okay, perfect. I actually really enjoyed it, and not having an engineering background, I think it's very very detailed. It's very easy to understand what the Huawei inverter can help a solar system achieve. Now, we heard from the manufacturer, we heard from the equipment distributor and service provider. I am really curious to learn from somebody from the government, who's the regulator, and about what are the plans for the Pakistan market, and what are the constraints, and also what are your expectations from the equipment manufacturers, because we would really like to know, just to make sure everyone's on the same page and they're moving in the same direction. So, Mr. Zaigam, thank you again for joining us. I know you're on a different time zone, so I'll hand it over to you.
Thank you, Denisa. Very kind of you. Let me at the outset, I say that you see in Pakistan, I admit that we are way behind what we should have been. And one of the reasons I find is that the people don't understand the quality. They still understand the price. This is one reason. And I think I am associated with one solar company, Rafiq and Rizwan knows very well, Aziz Solar. And they gave me a very good feedback about Huawei. Very good feedback. But I understand that the people don't know what they should be really looking forward to in an inverter, like the presentation made by Mr. Rafiq. The people need to be educated. They only understand the price. So I think this is one area where we really need to, my last slide is on this subject, that we have to really make the people understand why quality is important over price in the solar business. And what features in an inverter, what features people should be looking forward to. People install based on price, and then they say, can we do this? No, this inverter cannot do this. Can we do this? This can, you have to install an additional thing. So I think now another aspect which we are trying to promote is that you see our industry. Our industry should really understand that the export business might be really stopped unless and until our exporting industry are certified on clean development mechanism or carbon credit and all that. So this is it is a case study of a industry at Sundar Industrial Estate, Lahore, which I'll be making few slides just to explain what we are trying to promote. Government is doing it. One of the slides I'll share that they are talking of the quality, but really how do we ensure that quality, that there's flaws in the system as well. That when I reach to that slide, and since I have working for the World Bank, I have worked in Africa, I have worked in Afghanistan, Denisa, about 3-4 assignments I have carried out. It's very difficult, very challenging, but very lovely people, very caring people as well. So in Africa, when we were working, you know, we promoted at the World Bank level, promoted the idea of solar for social housing. That the poor people in Africa, they needed light and they needed water, solar water pumps and solar lights and mini grids concepts. So these are the things which people need to be understanding, and we as the part of the business should be promoting. Now, coming to this, now, actually, what really we are trying to say is that in that industry, as a 1 acre plot industry, 250 kilowatt solar system gets installed. But people have to understand that this is cost saving, is environment friendly, and what quality needs. So in the design, it's only at the moment, even the people build houses, they are not really rooftop solar. They don't really built into the system. And we need to promote that in the design of the new housing. The architects industry has to be engaged and involved. that even if the rooftop solar, the rooftops have to be facilitating the installation of the solar panels. Similarly, in the industries, this is one example, the Architect, Mr. Cheshire Brothers, they were asked to really incorporate the rooftop solar at the industry, which is a 250 kilowatt. So I think this is one area where we really need to promote that, whether it's industry, whether it's a commercial building, or whether it's a residential building, uh, it's architects and planners have to really incorporate in the design for the future. Whatever we have existing system, yes, fine. So this is where we need to promote. Now, you see what in Pakistan, we are generally seeing the feeling of the people is that it is the electricity which I get cheaper or whatever it is, but we don't really focus on the two main aspects, which are more than the individual thing. Individual is that I am getting a cheaper electricity, let's say 3 rupees per unit or 4 rupees. This is my personal thing. But let's see what economic benefit which we need to really promote. One is, this is in Pakistan, most of the electricity is being produced at the moment by imported fossil fuels, which are carbon fuels, which are, those are two aspects. One is carbon generating. Second is we are spending a very precious foreign exchange on these imported fossil fuels for generating electricity. You know, even Pakistan, the coal share of the coal is very small, but Pakistan is favorable to the solar power because Karachi has 320 sunny days. And Germany, Stuttgart, they have only 160 sunny days, half of what Karachi has. But in Stuttgart, almost every second, third roof was solar, rooftop solar. So here in Karachi, we really hardly find 1%. So either these are the things which people have to understand, that by serving my own personal gain of getting cheaper electricity, and we are also serving the economy by saving the import of the fossil fuel. And third thing is that we need to promote the concept of the environment. For example, in my house in Karachi, I have 5 kilowatt small unit, which saved last year 6 tons of carbon. And there's no market, there's no understanding, there's no realization. But when I really feel that 1 ton of carbon saved is saving the carbon emitted by a passenger car running for 2,400 kilometers. So this is in 6 tons of, meaning about 15,000 miles a passenger car would be running, will be produced, polluting the environment. And we see in Lahore, every year, there are about 2 to 3 months we have smog because of this carbon, and the economic activities are severely damaged. So I personally feel, and we are trying to promote this awareness. And last but not the least is that on the carbon basis, our industry has to really be understanding that even if we do it or we don't do it, maybe by 2025 or 4, 5, 6 years from now, all the exporters from Pakistan will be required to certify clean development mechanism certificate, carbon footprint certificates, that they are zero carbon. And there is no realization. So at the industrial state of Lahore, Sundar industrial state, what we are trying to do is that all the industries should go to solar. There's a centralized point, at least within the industrial estate, they should centralize point how much the net metering basis one can produce, one can sell. Also, how much carbon one can really save, or if someone else is an exporter, next door industry, so maybe I can sell it, a local carbon credit market. And I was asking my technical team, the resolar, and this is what I think Huawei should also explain to this, because your inverters really provide this data of how much carbon they have saved, even on your cell phone. And there's more than these features I have heard from them. I'm not a technical person like Denisa was saying, but these are the basic things we all understand, that once we get really to the awareness. And since your service, I was told that it's not easy, that if there's any technical defect, you replace it within 24 hours, which is a great service. I've seen some people, the exporter says, send the equipment back to us, we'll see what flaw is and all that. So you cannot really wait for 2-3 months without an inverter. You cannot even wait for 1 week without an inverter. Your system goes off. So these are the marketing things we really need to promote. The So these are the environmental considerations, like I said, as a residential rooftop. But what problem is? Problem is that Alternate Energy Development Board, I have been talking to them that although they are responsible for monitoring the carbon footprint market, they are not really having any centralized database where from a small solar power producer to a large solar, there's somewhere the data should be transferred, and they should be knowing it, that how much carbon is being saved. So I'm following with Mr. Umar, who is the energy minister, and also the leadership of the Alternate Energy Development Board, that they really need to develop. I'll give you the example of India. India, you see, there's a very vibrant carbon footprint market. The carbon is traded at the commodity exchange. In Pakistan, we have a commodity exchange. Once we really start doing it, it's not money. Maybe carbon is $10 or $8 per ton. That's nothing. Main thing is that I get something, which otherwise even if I've saved 6 tons of carbon, I didn't get anything economically, but I really have satisfaction that I saved the environment. But it also comes with, once we have a very active carbon trading market, people will also get some economic benefit. And there the inverters like your Huawei inverters will be really coming forward to, here we are, we will monitor your carbon save, we will electronically, digitally transfer this data to whatever the exchange, commodity exchange will be doing the carbon trade. So, and you see, I'm very happy to see that you have done about 40 megawatt or something, you were saying, you installed, but it's way behind what we should be really aiming at. Good examples should always be given, even if come from far off or from your neighbor. India, they had a target of 100,000 megawatts. And they have already installed about 40,000 megawatts. So you can imagine the carbon credit market will be effective, the electricity saved and all that. So we really are moving forward, but we are way behind. Another thing from the environment point of view, which is not really linked to it, but I always link it, that in the same industry, since the rain is there, so the solar panels are being installed in such a way that the rainwater gets collected, and there's a tank for 10,000 gallons. So if we recycle only 10 or 20 rainfalls, we can save more than 0.2 million gallons of water, which we can recycle. And at the moment, I'm also working with the PCSIR that to design the filters, because rainwater is generally very clean, either becomes importable using the sand filters or the bitumen filters. You don't need the RO plants to really make the rainwater. And this is where the environment comes in. Carbon, solar environment, even rainwater. And as we know that in Lahore, Prime Minister was also concerned about it, and he has emphasized quite a few times that water level is going down. So we really need to work on such concept as well. And this is again the rainwater harvesting, about the same thing which I have talked about. Even the solar geysers. We use the gas and all that for Lahore and all of those areas. We are not having a proper quality certified solar geyser market. And we really need, because that will be showing at least every household warm water needs. This factory which I'm talking about, we are also trying to equip it with the solar geyser, so that whatever the needs will be of the warm water by the industry there, it will be from the water. So the power 250 kilowatt, the rainwater harvesting, the solar water pump also. They were installing their solar water pump so that, you know, the 40,000 gallons of water tank, which will be used for firefighting, should be powered by the solar as much as you can. From 9 to 5, where solar water pumps can give you electricity. In Thar area, where the water was a huge problem, I was involved in one project where the US-based NGO was trying to install some, donate rather, some solar water pumps in Thar area. You see, you can't believe it. The people were saying that what is this? That is right at 9 o'clock, our pumps start working till up to 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, because the sun is there and the water is much more plenty. Then they would really be traveling miles and miles, the ladies with pitchers on the head for the water. So those are the things which change the life of those, but we really need to promote those organized way. This is, I have already talked about. Net metering, as I said, that apart from carbon market at the Sundar Industrial Estate, now I am also energy committee of the Punjab Industrial Estates Management Company. And there also I'm trying to promote this environment-friendly solar power. And at some places, maybe we also go for the wind and hybrid solutions as well, where the wind corridors are there. So this is what we are trying to promote. These are the things that you're talking, you see, in the housing project, what we are really, that we are also including the rural housing. And in the villages, even today, not many villages, they don't have the grid supplied electricity. So we are working on the mini grid concept for the villages, and also the large scale manufacturing of housing, like say 200 acres or 500 acres or 1,000 acres. We are also trying to build in these rooftop solars, as well as whatever is possible, solar street lights, and maybe if there are some areas where we can further produce the electricity through the solar power, and so that at least as much as possible that habitat has basic self-sufficiency in terms of electricity. Of course, the storage is one issue. And at the moment in Pakistan, the batteries which are being supplied are not really good qualities. Proper certification hardly works for 2 years or less than that. So they are the issues. And we are mostly, now very recently, the lithium-ion batteries are coming, but still they don't go for more than 3-4 years. Ideally, I was in States attending a solar conference, and I saw that minimum 9 to 10 years, they assure the life of the storage battery. Because if I have to replace a battery every 2 or 3 years, the overall cost of my electricity goes from 3 rupees or 4 rupees to 6 or 7 rupees, because that's too much an expense of replacing the battery. So I think this is another area we will be should be working. As I said, we should be really promoting the carbon credit market, and for that I am for forwarding it. But I would suggest Huawei as well, that when you sell your product, you sell the features which are going to give the people, like carbon credit. I said your cell phone. I really don't know, I'm not a technical person, but every time I talk to the technical team of the solar, they say, no, Huawei inverter has this feature. Huawei inverter has this feature. So I think this is maybe for the layman, you may be really promoting. Apart from that's one of your best marketing feature is that you provide a very efficient after sales service. That's tremendous, which is not, everyone is not doing that. So people are really saying at the most, we might say one day, say we might waste one day, but within that, the new inverter will be replacing the defective inverter, which is very tremendous. But I think you should also, for you, these are basic things. But for the layman people like me, and maybe Danisha, as she said, I'm not a technical person. For us, you have to explain these things in the layman's language, that when you install inverter, because I have seen the people say inverter, 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 meaning they don't understand that inverter is one word, but inverter A and inverter B, this is the features. Like panels, when we say they, at least people say in front, but practically we say that panels also really as good as they sometimes are being claimed. Last but not the least, this is I have told the green habitat and housing I have already explained. Yeah, this is what really I'm worried about. The Alternate Energy Development Board, I have been following with them and quite a lot worked that quality standard and specifications. They have done for the PV, they have done for the inverters, and they have done for the cables. So what really they require is that the vendor, supplier should first certify that our product, whether it's PV or the inverter, is meeting the quality specifications as declared by the AEDB. But that's not enough. Best thing is, which basically the AEDB requires, the third party inspection like SGS or some other international company who should say that this vendor, whatever is claiming, is also a right statement. So the two combined, if you ask any manufacturer or vendor, I have seen it, that we'll be having your certification on these quality standards, and we'll be having your statement certified and rechecked by third party international companies like SEO or whatever. So then they don't really easily compromise on price because they know they have to provide the quality. And I think this is where we really have to understand that in Pakistan, we are trying quality design. Most of the solar companies, they do not have the certified solar professionals. And this is what we're really trying. In Pakistan, we don't have one institution which is really providing solar certification. Australia is one, India about 6, 7, not that level, that quality, but still at least there's an awareness that there should be, this is an area where my doing an electrical engineering doesn't make me a solar professional. It's a specified area, and this solar professional in terms of design, solar professional in terms of installation, there are, and within that there are further certifications specialized. So, for example, this company, Solar, all the staff are engineers and so solar certified mostly from Australia. So I think this is where we really need to understand. In United States, the average life of a household head when they just go for solar is about 42 years age of the household head, and average 42 years. And average life expectancy is 82 years in the United States. So this is what the slogan goes, solar for life. Meaning if you install today, for the rest of 40 years, solar works. And this is absolutely what can really work, because normal payback period are 3, 4, or 5 years. So everybody on cost basis, it may make difference if I get a good quality like Huawei good product or some cheap other product. It may make our PVs 6 months saving in my payback period. But not important is that it's not important that 4 years or 3 years or 5 years. Important is after those 4 or 5 years, the system work for 30 years and beyond. And this is where the good quality system really should ensure that if I get electricity for 25 years free of cost, what will ensure quality? The people really have to be quality in the design, quality in the material, and quality in the installation. These are the three factors which is in our neighboring country. They have the design certifications. Independent companies can see and say that, yes, this is a properly designed system. Otherwise, people say, you put up the panel, they have the cabling and install a machine. This is not, a system has to be designed by the professionals. So they are the inspectors, then there are the installation inspection, and then there's performance audit. People don't really know they have the system, but after 3, 4, 5 years, what is the performance? After 8 years, what is the performance? And there are the third party companies who should be really doing it. This is what I'm also trying to promote, that we should be having from the platform of AEDB. And also we are trying to engage the academia, because universities have engineers and all the solar professionals, because AEDB cannot really go everywhere and do these on-site inspection and certifications. This is where they have to have smart companies. So this is what we are really trying to do. So my request to fact as well as to Huawei is that please educating your customer on the right quality standards is our responsibility as well, because otherwise we'll be always competing the best quality with the worst quality only on price basis. But once you people understand, for example, I was in Stuttgart, and there, Porsche and BMW and Mercedes cars. So the price is huge, way above. And if you enter in America a showroom of the Porsche, the salesman will say, "I hope that you understand you are entering a Porsche showroom," meaning it's a quality. So don't compare with the Honda Odyssey price, which is the next door showroom. So this is, I think, the quality will give you the price as well. I think with this, grateful. There was one comment I have seen. Mr. Rizwan's Razak's presentation was very good, but people said you are a bit fast. They wanted to understand because in next 4 years, by 2025, you are changing the entire world in this area. So yes, it's too fast moving. But I think if the question which I have seen here in the chat, that people wanted to understand your presentation more, maybe you can circulate it, whatever. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Zaigam, and what insightful presentation you had. And I like that you're very objective about and transparent, and you gave us a really fair commentary. Huawei does have outstanding technical support, and Jubaili Bros Solar as a service provider can do both remote and on-site support. And I'm really happy that you stressed on the importance of quality over hidden prices and the downfalls of cheap equipment in the long run. We've seen firsthand last year that Pakistan has implemented very strict standards when we shipped there. I think it was 2 years ago when it started. And please rest assured that Huawei has all the certifications at international standards. I like that you talked about how to integrate solar in different systems in the everyday life, and also about how other stakeholders like the architects and energy consultants, as well as energy auditors and universities, can really build awareness on the benefits of integrating solar in different systems. Before I begin with the round of questions, I would like to make sure everyone rest assured that we will share all the presentations after this session. We will receive a list of all the attendees and share all the presentations, so you'll have access to them. Now I'll go through the questions and assign each one of you one. I hope you know how this works. I haven't done it before. So the first question is from Anonymous. What is the life of inverters and how can we ensure the quality? I would like to pass this on to Rafiq.
Yes, sure. So as per Huawei, the life of Huawei inverter is around more than 25 years. But as per the third-party verification like TUV, the life of Huawei inverter is around 17 to 18 years. So we have the certification for that. We can share that on the request as well. And if you're going to compare, so you have to look into the certifications of that particular inverter as well for the quality of the product.
Okay. The next question is, how can we examine the quality of solar panels before purchasing, as we face problem of substandard panels? Rafiq, I'll give this to you again because you have the most experience with the panels as well.
So basically, if you're getting a panel from the supplier, what they do is that I have seen several manufacturers, they have a application for that. You just have to put the serial number. Is it from the right channel or not? What people are doing is that, for example, if there is a company with the name of a company, they are duplicating that particular product. So you have to check, is it from that right channel or not? So there is a particular app with every supplier. So or you can send an email to the supplier to check it on their end as well.
Perfect. The next question, again from Anonymous. What projects have Huawei successfully completed in Pakistan? And before I pass this on to Rizwan, I would like to just let you know that Huawei and Jubilee Bros Solar, we work with EPCs. So we supply to EPCs, and it's the EPCs that actually complete these projects. But Rizwan has very good visibility on the notable projects.
That's right. Thank you, Denisa. So on a perspective of a global scale, Huawei has accomplished 130 gigawatts of solar inverter shipment from our factories in China. And if you look at the market share in all the different global continents, Huawei is a market leader in terms of the market share of our product into all different markets. Now, as you can understand, with the solar market in Pakistan specifically, it has been a increase over the most recent 3 to 4 years. So this is an area which we are evaluating. There is quite a few large projects, as my colleague Rafiq mentioned before, the list of projects that our partner Jubilee has supplied. So we've got a quite healthy percentage. But what we do need to mention, like Mr. Rizvi mentioned, the market awareness, the quality, that is something that at the moment we are getting compared with, and we are going to be involved in providing more training for these particular topics.
I would like to add something on this, if you so permit.
Sure.
I think this is the most important question, how the customer would understand the quality. Customer very easily understand the price. So what they understand, they really focus on that. But they don't understand the quality ensures the life of the solar system of 30, 40 years and beyond. Like PVs, even after 40 years, it doesn't mean that they stop working. Maybe the efficiency might go to 80%, whatever. But they keep on working. Inverters, they keep on working. There's practically no moving parts. So the people have to understand that the quality really pays back in 1 or 2 years, 4 or 5 years of payback with. So features, what they are, number one, they should promote. Second is like in real estate industry, housing projects when we started, is it called Real Estate Regulatory Authority, RERA. So we were promoting, and only very recently the Prime Minister has cleared it and the cabinet and all that. Why we were seeing that there was lots of opposition when I was promoting this, that we should be having real estate regulatory authority, because many developers, contractors really promise something and deliver something else, much below what they promised. And there was nobody to check. So what really global experience has suggested that the people like Huawei, meaning the good developers and promoters, were saying there should be a regulatory authority. There should be a but this was being opposed by those who are really quacks, who are not really doing the good work. But I asked someone in another country that after this quality regulation has come in the developer industry, he said our business has become much easier, because previously we were competing with the people who were not providing quality on price. But now the strict quality regulations, our job has become much easier because the people understand the quality and they're willing to pay the price. Quality cannot come without price. So I think good companies like Huawei and maybe Trina and those who are really able to provide good quality stuff, like Hyundai panels, Trina panels, and Huawei or SMA was previously there. Now it's still there, but not really having that market there. But their image in the market could be, and they are quality. So you should be ensuring with Alternate Energy Development Board, follow it up, quality compliance, quality assurance, quality certification. You know, in what we have seen in that some people produce the fake certifications, and they are available by companies that they pay. The vendor certification is there, and the third party inspection is there, but they are fake. The custom authorities have to be really taught what is the good quality certification can be verified. For example, barcodes. You really, that I know a company that every time they supply a product to the customer, they also give the list of the barcode and what the quality certification comes with that. so that you can directly talk to Huawei, you can directly talk to Trina, this barcode product was installed, it's not working. So really, how do you really launch your complaint? At the moment, people really don't know. They import 10 and they get another 30 fake same name products. So 40, and they say, "Oh, we are importing," but they imported 10, but the rest of 30, 40 were the fake products, same barcode. There was one case which was caught, that same barcode was on all, maybe if they tested on 100 PVs, because he printed and not realizing he was putting the barcode, same barcode. So this is where we really need to ensure, because you can compete and you are competing on quality, but people have to be understanding, and there's got to be some third party surveillance and regulatory authority like ADB. I have been following with ADB a lot. This is the three quality certificate. Now we're talking about even the fourth one, that is structures. People don't understand. They say, okay, install, but they don't understand it's not in Karachi. Either it should be aluminum or a very nicely done hot dip galvanized, otherwise corrosion will ruin the whole system. So I think quality is one of the most important thing, but how to really ensure a customer cannot really understand. Brand is one assurance of quality. And this is where your brand is there, your brand image is. But you know that some people will be selling in the market with fake, using your own brand. So I think this is what I will say, that all good vendors, suppliers should ensure at some higher level how to really ensure that the quality is genuinely the one which was promised.
Thank you, Mr. Zegam. And it's really sad that contraband has extended to solar equipment as well. Didn't take them long. And what I wanted to tell you is that the reason why Huawei partners with companies like Jubilee Bros Solar is to cater to different regions. And all the inverters that leave the manufacturing facilities have a serial code, and they're destined to a certain market in a way that is to prevent these type of situations, and just to make sure that they're not sold into another market or duplicated, perhaps. We will continue with the questions. We have a lot coming in, so I really hope we can cover it all. What panels should we use with Huawei inverters? Which are best suitable and will ensure good quality output? Rafiq, would you like to take over?
Yeah, Denisa, there is no specific limitations that which brand should be used and which should not be used. So you can use any of the tier 1 panels that are available in the market. You can find the list from the tier 1 panels from the Bloomberg's as well. So there is no restrictions. If Rizwan wants to add something on it.
Yeah, I think I'll add a few points on that particular topic. So from the inverter perspective, it's a very flexible solution in reference to which type of PV modules you're considering, P-type, N-type, and the bifacial modules as well. All of these parameters are all specified with the PV module. So there is the thin film PV modules. There is multiple different types. Now, the key thing to look out for is the parameters of the voltage and the current performance of the PV modules, and then calculating it in accordance to the IEC standard, and ensuring that those parameters are compliant with the inverter. So majority of the PV modules, whether tier 1 or any level of tier, are compliant with the Huawei inverter. It's just checking the parameters specifically that they are working and working with your system correctly.
Denisa, I would like to add. You see, when we use the word tier 1, at the moment, I think it's mostly in number of volume of production. It's not on the quality standards tier 1. There is no quality standards. Like, see, as I said, Porsche, the volume of production is much less than 100,000 cars a year. Vis-a-vis Toyota is millions. But quality of Porsche or BMW, which much. So I think tier 1 should also be really explained, tier 1 in terms of volume of production, or tier 1 in terms of quality. Probably Huawei is tier 1 in terms of quality also. I don't know about the volume. So this is, we have to really, because otherwise tier one doesn't mean anything.
Yes, Huawei has been the leader in the last 5 years of exported inverters. So they have a really good coverage all over the world.
I just want to add one more point to that is in terms of tier, I think you've brought up a very good topic. The level of tiers, if you understand it correctly, is to do with volume and is also to do with the quality as well. So the amount of standards that you have got compliant there, along with the production facilities as well. So to give an insight of Huawei's perspective, the volume that we are supplying on a global scale is 130 gigawatts since we started manufacturing in 2012. The other substance to that is the amount of product and the type of product that we're supplying. So we've only been supplying string inverters to the market. So not centralized, not micro inverters, it's string inverters. And if you look at the competition products available in the market, that volume isn't even achieved by even half. So there's a key difference there, and we are going to keep following the path of the technology and the innovation from our research and development team.
Okay, perfect. Thank you, Rizwan. I'm scrolling through the questions. There are a lot of anonymous ones. Let's pick this one. String inverter can be considered a centralized inverter. The micro inverter is a distributed inverter. Can you answer this, Rizwan?
Yes, so there's different types of technologies in the market. There is a micro inverter, which is, let's say, a module level, PV module level. You've got the string inverter, which is a more, let's say, a modular format, a multiple number of strings, which are being connected. And that normally at the moment is having a capacity of around 200 kilowatts. And then you've got a centralized inverter, which is at the megawatt scale typically, and they are blocked up with large single MPPT inverters. So there's three different categories, and the string inverters is an area which from 2018 is actually increasing year on year. So one of the trends that I did mention in the slides earlier today is we're seeing that around 80% of the utility scale projects will be using technologies such as string inverters by the year of 2025.
Perfect. Mr. Zegam, I have a question for you. The government of Pakistan is the government of Pakistan taking any initiative to make solar a compulsion on big projects in Pakistan on larger scale?
Well, not as the moment any regulatory compulsion, but I am really trying to promote this at my level. Number one, all the housing to be promoted somewhere should have provision for the rooftop and all that. But more than that, from the carbon credit point of view, the export industry to develop a carbon market. So this way, once that will be done, that will be really, and in industry would know that I need carbon credit. I need to buy from my next door neighbor industry, which is not an exporter. So that collectively, this has to be really promoted. Once the people understand, that's what I was always saying to the industrial estate people, and when I was visiting them and promoting this, that if supposing by 2025, they say, okay, no exporter will be accepted by, let's say, America or anywhere, which is not really giving us the clean development vehicles certificate, carbon certificate. And then maybe you are out of the export market. After 3 months or 6 months, you have a solar system installed, your market is gone. So this is what we are really trying to promote the people. And this is where the government, but more than that, the industry has to understand. And we are trying to promote this concept at the moment that look here, all the industry should have it from not only from the cheap electricity point of view. Now, trend is moving up, as Rafiq Saab should be knowing that there is now more queries, more projects. There's a realization. I see lots of business coming in. But my only worry at times is that many times the people compete on quality not on compete on price, not on quality. So after, like, and I was addressing the Lahore chamber, and the people were quite fed up with the solar system. I asked why you are so much against, and they were saying, I installed solar system 4 years before, it's not working, 3 years before. This is what the bad quality really do, the anti-marketing. So I think this is where we should be. This is what I request you as well as good quality vendors, that we let's try to have good regulatory regime so that the quality moves on. But at the same time, all the industries and the housing projects we are promoting, not as a regulatory compulsion, but as an incentive and motivation. Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Zegam. Rafiq, I have one for you. What is the competitive edge of Huawei inverters if we compare them with other brands?
Yeah, as we have mentioned that artificial intelligence that Huawei boost, and also the VI curve diagnosis tools that helps a lot in the operation and maintenance of the power plant, and the features like AFCI and the built-in feature like PID recovery within the inverters within the same cost of that particular inverter. So these are the edges that we are having with our competitors that are there available in the market.
Rizwan, do you have anything to add to that?
So there is many different features in regards to that are available from the inverters, and one of the things I want to add is the IV curve diagnostic, which is available at a additional cost, but generally these features are developed from the supplier. So it's not as simple as just converting DC to AC as an inverter these days. It's more of an intelligent sensoring device, whilst also adapting to the needs of what is going to be happening from the grid operator perspective. So in terms of storage, that's something which will be coming in as a package to the solar projects as the infrastructure of the electricity increases as well. Over to you, Denisa.
Thank you, Rizwan. Wow, it's very hard to select these questions. Is there any institute where engineers can become professionally certified solar engineers, Mr. Zegam?
Well, actually, at the moment in Pakistan, although some universities are now, like Hamdard University, Karachi, they are trying to develop some solar education, but not really that awareness. So one is the, like say, doing the BS engineering with specialization in solar. There's one area where you are, like we have engineers in specializing in electronics and power engineering and all that. The universities like Hamdard, and I also think University of Management Technology, Lahore, they're trying to develop some solar focus as well. But solar certification, as we see in Australia or United States, NAPSAC and all those, which are these dedicated solar certification programs, at the moment we don't have. But I would love if to talk to Mr. Rizwan and Rafiq. We collectively talk to let's say NED University Karachi, that let's try to develop some short solar certification program, even for installation and design. I think we need one model, and then all universities will start following it, because I think that hardly a few solar companies in Pakistan have their staff which is solar certified.
And while you're at it, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, which is very essential, because doing an engineering, maybe electrical, doesn't make you a solar specialist. It's a by itself. As I was listening to the presentation from Mr. Rizwan and Mr. Rafiq, I am basically a chemical engineer also. I did my MBA and all that later on. But for me, it was all Greek. So the meaning, this science by itself is very getting specialized. Solar is not really that an electrical engineer would simply understand all the solar requirements. So I think solar certification is very essential, and maybe at some stage, I think that I will try to push with ADB and the Minister of Energy, Mr. Umaryou, that for certain quality of tenders, the education of and the quality of the staff should also be specified that they should have engineers, certified engineers, they should have certified solar certification professionals, so that not every Tom and Dick and Harry becomes a solar company. They should be really responsible people with proper education. Yes, Mr.
Thank you
Rizwan, you are
so.
smiling.
So from my perspective, I've come from the UK market before, so I understand your vision. It's a kind of very naturally implemented into the UK environment, and shifting over from the UK environment to the UAE, there's a very big difference in terms of let's say the standards that are available. And this is something that I do have a personal passion to implement that into Pakistan market, but it will take time. You know, it will take the development of the projects to start increasing, and then things to be seen as being dangerous. For example, I go back to the topic of AFCI. Now, you know, that one, the reason why it's been implemented is because of safety aspect of solar projects, and these only come with the time and environmental conditions that are affecting. So you mentioned about the quality of the structure. These things are very important. You know, it's like one of the core of the devices on site. So yes, I think these kind of stages will come into implementation within the next 1 to 2 years as we are looking more in towards that AI. Over back to you, Denisa.
Thank you so much. One more question. We have a lot. I'm really trying to be fair here, but we will answer all the questions on Facebook and over email to everyone that registered. One last question that I think is very important is somebody asked about the after-sales service locations based in Pakistan, and they would like to have confidence about the support, because that is the main challenge. It's the after-sales service. So Rafiq, I'll let you close with this question, with this answer, and then we'll wrap it up.
As I said, that we are managing our inventory in different cities of Pakistan, Karachi and Islamabad, and Lahore is one of them. So if there is any sort of fault on your plant, so you just have to unmount that particular inverter. So you are going to get the fresh piece of new inverter on your site. You don't have to ship us that particular faulty inverter back to us. So we are the one who going to deliver the new inverter on your site, and the faulty inverter will be taken by the Jubilee Bros team, by the supplier of the Jubilee Bros. So you don't have to worry that for that hassle as well.
May I add, Denisa, on this?
Yeah.
Sure.
What really I feel, there's one company I know that if supposing they have the Huawei inverter installed to some client, so they give to the client the barcodes list, and then they say this is the warranty which comes with from the Huawei, and this is the performance warranty, this is the product warranty, and also the after sale, which is very essential, which is very rare. All kind of gimmicks in terms of product quality, performance, it's a paper. But after sale service is the big responsibility Huawei is taking within 24 hours or something. So this same barcode with all that warranty which you are providing goes to the client. I know that this solar company is doing this. And then it's also advised to the vendor and supplier that this inverter is installed to this customer. So there's a direct relationship as well. That will make your job much easier, that, okay, I know this barcode inverter is installed. If the claim comes in, you easily trace with the barcode what defect. You can even convey to the manufacturing plant in China that, look here, which production line this had this product which were having this kind of problems. So I think they try to really enforce the system of barcodes monitoring.
So we are already, Huawei is already doing that. If you are, as Denisa mentioned, that there is a particular product for a particular region. If you are directly importing through a gray channel, if you are importing directly from China, that is not dedicated for Pakistan market. Once you will install and you will commission your system on Fusion Solar Management System, so there will be an unauthorized notification will pop up on your management system.
Absolutely.
So, yeah, so this is that Huawei is taking steps. In future, that will be also restricted as well.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much, Rafiq. Rizwan, do you have anything to add?
That's right. Yeah, I just wanted to add a couple of other points in regards to Huawei as an entity in Pakistan itself. So, as you may know, we already have presence of our telecom business already implemented into Pakistan. Islamabad is our main office, and then we have other offices in other countries as well, other cities as well. Now, in regards to that, we've already got the infrastructure from the perspective of the warehouse facilities, along with our partner, which is Jubilee Brothers as well. So there is a two-level localized service catalog that we have inventory, let's say, in Pakistan. So there is a very quick turnaround. That's why we are able to adhere to typically a 48-hour turnaround service from the inverter supplier. But that is something which does need to be factored in as a perspective of a downtime and availability.
Thank you, Rizwan. I think this is it for all of us. I would like to reassure everyone that all your questions will be answered. We'll receive the list of questions from the organizers, and we'll be sending a general answers list. All the presentations will be shared as well. We'll receive all the presentations from all the presenters. And I would like to thank you, Rizwan, Huawei, our sponsor, all our speakers and attendees for making time for this event. Just to remind you, this was Solar Pakistan webinar number 6. I would like to request you all to subscribe to FACT Exhibitions YouTube channel, which is fakt.tv on YouTube. And there you can view a recording of this webinar. And while you're there, check out all the other videos. Thank you again. I really enjoyed being your host. Enjoy your
Thank you
day.
very much. Thanks, FACT, and thanks, Huawei.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you for participating.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.